Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Thank you guys so much for the support on season 2. It was incredible. I honestly cannot tell you how grateful I am. The likes, the comments, the shares, the support, the views, absolutely amazing. And as you can see on the trophy cabinet, we ended our time, or we completed our time in Italy rather. We won, for these guys, throwback for last season. So we finished the season, I believe, on 95 points. We scored over 100 goals again. We conceded barely 20, and we won the domestic treble. We beat Lazio in the Italian Cup. We beat Lazio in the Italian Super Cup, Fiorentina in the Italian Cup, and then we won the league clear and away. I'm honestly just what a way to have the first 2 seasons go. We've ticked off 2 trophies in 2 years. Can't argue with that. Yeah, it's been absolutely incredible. Now, at the end of last episode, I turned around and said that we would be leaving Roma at the end of the season. And I guess a few things have happened since then. The best way for me to tell you guys that, what happened, is to show you guys. So, roll the intro. Wait, no. Not that intro. This intro.
Rooney makes the save away towards his left. He is the hero for Villarreal.
That's right, guys. We are the new manager of Villarreal.
This is done. Deal, and here we go.
Now, I'm so excited to tell you guys how that came about and why I chose Villarreal as our second club for the Glory Hunter. But first of all, make sure you like and make sure you subscribe, turn on that notification bell, and you'll get notifications every time I upload another episode of Glory Hunter. So as you can see, I'm rocking a Villarreal top. And this is only a training top, I can't lie. I didn't want to sit with the green screen. I didn't want to sit in the video wearing bright yellow consistently. It's a lovely top with a very kind of hexagonal shaped pattern, I guess you could say. But it's an absolutely lovely top. But basically, long story short, obviously I decided at the end of the season I was going to leave Roma. And I knew that if I started playing into the season, I'd want to finish again. There was no point in staying. I love the club. You guys saw at the back end of last season how difficult it was for me to let go of what we built, but it was needed to move on to something just as good. So I then looked at a few clubs. Now, your Real Madrid came available. Your Man United never became available in the end. Real Madrid did. Dortmund did, maybe. There were 2 or 3 other clubs that I would have been interested in that came about. And I didn't get accepted for any of them apart from Valencia. Now, last year I did a Valencia save, unbeaten in the first season, £40 million net spend during that time. And I thought, you know what, that'd be great. It's a club that I like. I found a nice orange shirt. I was like, cool. And then they offered me £3 million and wanted me to compete for the title. Now, I checked the league table, and this was about 2 weeks before where we are now. And they were way over 10 points behind their first, and $2.5 million for a squad that I wasn't particularly happy with was not where it was at all. Not where it was at all. Now, I was then in the party at the time with my good friend Matt, who I mentioned quite a lot. You guys have seen on the channel before. And then the Villarreal job became available, and I thought, you know what? It's a nice club. They've run stuff recently. Let me apply. And they offered me a transfer budget. I can't go into it for a second because you'll see who I bid for, but they offered me a transfer budget of £89 million for a top half finish. And actually, when I signed the contract, it was £80 million for a top 4 finish. For Europa League finish, top 6. And I looked at the squad, looked at how close we are, and thought, yeah, you know what? Yeah, I can do that. So let's look at the squad first. We're going to be playing the same way we played before. Oh, quickly, guys. Well, I've sorted out the green on this side of my face. It was a lighting problem. I'd been working on it for weeks, but the last batch of Football Manager episodes I recorded on the same day, as I mentioned in those episodes. This is the first one recording with the new light system, and the problem's fixed. So thank you guys for the feedback on that. So right now, of the players that are in this Villarreal squad that I would actively want to keep, really, I'm going to give him a go. Pau Torres, absolutely. He is going to be our captain, our leader, our legend for the entire time we are here. I absolutely, under no circumstances am I selling him. It cost us enough to get an expensive left-sided centre-half last season. So Gerard Moreno is going to stay. He's got absolutely outstanding stats. We said we wanted a bit more of a Harry Kane type striker. We've got that with him, which is why he's not on pressing forward. Mandy, 33-year-old Algerian, if I change him to central defender and defend, seems a perfect rotation option for what we need, so no point in selling him. And then for Nino, if you guys remember a save I did a while ago, his stats aren't that great, but I'm going to keep hold of him to the end of the season because we just need a bit more homegrown. Now, going through this squad then, they've got a 31-year-old goalkeeper who they signed from the lower leagues, so he'll stay as our backup. Jesus Vallejo, he's good, not great. He will stay to the end of the season, but he will be transfer listed. In the long term, I don't see him being part of the club. Bowie, he just looks, to be honest with you, and he's already transfer listed. Cool. This guy. Ooh. See, I haven't done a complete in-depth dive into this squad yet. See, the problem is the role we play, his passing is just awful. As like a normal defensive player, he'd be good. As a central defender on defend, his composure is shit. You know what? I'm going to transfer list him. Where's the thing about raising funds? There we go. Oh, shit. Cool. Well, that's not how I expected that to go. But he's transfer listed anyway. And now he's open to listening to other clubs. So chances are we might get a bid for him. Because I don't see the point in keeping players around which do not fit our style of play, which make no sense whatsoever. It's just not for me. Just not for me at all. His contract's up in the other side. I apologise about any banging upstairs, by the way. Someone's moving in upstairs and they are making a racket. Central defender on defend. He looks like he'd be a class player. I wonder, how would he do as a roaming player? Not great. Okay, so he will be our backup left-sided centre-back. See, I didn't want to do all of this like off camera because then it'd just be boring. Darmian's going to have to play. We are in talks for another pair of wing backs, but those wing backs are going to have to play for now. Ooh. Right, he's good enough to be a rotation option, but valued at that much, with his vision being so low, I'd be inclined to look to sell him. Parejo's contract's up at the end of the year, which is fine because his physicals are really, really low. Nicholas Jackson. I don't see him progressing at the speed we need, if I'm honest. I want more technical wingers. So, transfer listed. And I do think we'll generate some money in January as well. Calvin Stengs. Now, he's only just joined, but actually, he'll be an okay backup for 6 months. So, I'm going to keep hold of him for now. Morales is just quite not quite there, to be honest. Dennis Suarez is being transfer listed because he's just not my kind of midfielder. He hasn't got enough about him. and he's valued at 24 million. So Iosi Perez is going to go as well. Alex Banega. Now, he's either footed, which is great. Let me have him as the Mazzala on support and see what he looks like. Do you know what? He actually looks like he could be quite good. I'm going to keep him as a rotational option and see if he progresses or not. But he's not going to be a starter. Pietro Fofana. Now, this is the guy that Chelsea have signed in real life. They signed him from PSG last year after being where he was for a year. His finishing is just not good enough for the level we want to be at. So I'm going to transfer list him and see if he's willing to move on or not. Like I say, if there's interest in these players, then they'll move on. And if there isn't, there isn't. And again, 27, valued at 50 odd million in the prime of his life, but 11 passing, 12 vision, 11 teamwork. It's just not for this system, unfortunately. So again, he will be transfer listed. Right, so this is our main 11. I'm going to explain to you what players we've got linked in what positions, but that's how we're going to start the initial core squad. Now, bearing in mind, I know I can't register all these players for the Champions League, right? Just know that I understand that. Let me show you guys. So, Juan Foyth trying to come in, bring him back from Manchester City. I was devastated he wasn't here. When I checked the squad, devastated. £20 million rising to 35. They could be a great signing. Danny Carvajal, homegrown, 14 pace, 14 natural fitness, outstanding stats. This is the kind of fullback we need. Yes, he's 32, but he'll play for 2 or 3 years. Luca Pellegrini, very similar stats on that left-hand side. He looks like he could be so exciting. Jorginho Wijnaldum as a backup midfielder. I don't necessarily need him, but the price and the fact that his natural fitness is still 18, he could do for a season. Leandro Paredes. Now, if you guys remember, I mentioned at the start of this save as part of Roma stuff that I had Paredes on another save and he won the Ballon d'Or because of how he played for me. In that Roman playmaker role, he has got all the qualities to be absolutely outstanding, and for £13 million is an absolute, or 10 million rising to 50 is ridiculous. They'd already agreed a deal to sign Kondogbia for £18 million in the summer, in January, and for me personally, I had a look at him in a Mazzala on attack. All right, his finishing's not the best, but he's got the creative and the physical stats to drive forward with that ball. If we get him to pass and create the chances more, then that'd be fantastic. Matteo Pessina, again, another £10 million signing. He can play anywhere in that midfield three. He could play the roaming playmaker role as well. And apart from his long shots, he could play it to a high level, to be fair. So it's another good squad player. We're trying to utilise in the market, bolster up our squad. And then the absolute hero, the guy who last season got 31 goal contributions in 32 games. They transfer listed Malinowski. The second I saw it, I spoke to Matt, I spoke to my dad, and I was like, look, I said I wasn't going to go around signing players we already had, but can I turn this offer down for 2 years? And the answer is no. So that's all the players we bid for. Obviously, there will be some outgoings as well. And Zuma's gone to Arsenal. I'm so disappointed because he would have been perfect on that left-hand side. He's actually joined the mighty Spurs in real life after completely pieing Everton. I want to see if there's any buyback clauses for any players that we've got. I highly doubt there will be. But it's worth having a look at anyway. Jeremy Pino, I see, that's so annoying. They had so much money in this. That probably, to be fair, that probably does explain why the transfer budget is so high. There will be a couple of other players I want to look at, but for now, let's get into the first game. We're gonna play just the one game probably, because then there's a massive gap between that and the January transfer window. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you're happy. Make sure you drop a like. Make sure you drop a sub. I'm really, really happy with the shirt, with the save, with the team choice. And hopefully we can go on and compete. Now, quickly as well, the other thing, Champions League. So we are in the new Champions League format. And let me explain how this works quickly, because a lot of you guys won't know and won't understand. 6 goals and 2 goals, by the way, is horrific. So basically, there's a 36-team league. The top 8 go through to the quarterfinal. The next 8 versus the following 8 go into a round of 16 type draw. And then the winners of those play this 8. And then it's a normal knockout stage period. I believe there's 8 games in the Champions League. Yeah, so they're on 6. And how many games have we got left? They're on 6. And it's a schedule. Record's horrific. 1, 2, yeah. So there's 8 games in the Champions League running. To be honest with you, I don't want us to go through in the groups, in the knockout stages this season. I want us to focus on getting top 4 in the league. We know we're not going to be able to register all of our signings in the Champions League halfway through the season anyway. So I want the opportunity to build the squad bit by bit, and then go in, hopefully, in top 4 next year. I'd be lying if I said I'd be lying if I said the Europa League wouldn't be bad for us for next year. I need to win it anyway. It's a club that have won it recently. I think it'd be quite good to win Villarreal their 2nd European trophy. But yeah, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and I'll catch you for my first team sheet as Villarreal manager. Something else I didn't realise, or I knew but forgot to say, and this is why I wanted to manage Spain earlier in the save. So we're just putting the contract through for Juan Foyth at the moment. There is a minimum release clause in every contract in La Liga. So bearing in mind, no matter how, for the duration of the time we're here, we could be set for heartbreak if one of our best players has their release clause played. Let's hope they don't. As he accepts a £100 million release clause. I'm just going through bit by bit by bit. I'm going to offer him it because he's the perfect squad player. And if he's not prepared to accept being a squad player, then off basically. Pau Torres and Gerard Moreno captains. That's exactly what I wanted. And we've got some transfer offers in here. So we're going to accept the highest one. We're going to reject that one. I'll accept that one. I swear this guy was valued a lot more than that. I'm going to reject that because that money is not good enough at all. But yeah, as I said before, sorry, I just wanted to tell you guys about the release clause thing. So I didn't get into a situation where we had a release clause paid for a player and you guys wondered why I set them so low. It's not me. I kind of have to set them. I don't really have a choice. But yeah, I'll catch you. If any of the deals go through, I'll let you guys know. Our first lineup then as Villarreal manager. Now, it's a lot of square pegs in round holes, but you've seen the players we're trying to buy. You've seen the changes we're trying to make. We will get there. Rulli in goal, Alberto Moreno left back, Pau Torres, Mandy and Damian make up the defence. George, I'm going to have to learn to pronounce some of these names. I'm going to just call him George in midfield. Morales, Banega, Suarez and Stengs make up the midfield with Gerard Moreno up front. Into our first game in La Liga. Now, apart from my Valencia save and the glory hole I did myself where I started at Atletico Madrid, my record with Spanish clubs is atrocious. Which is one of the reasons why I wanted to get Spain over and done with, if I'm honest. Like the look of the pitch here. Hopefully we can create some chances as they go through on goal. And it's really with a good save. So far, so good. This training top's comfy. If you guys want a link to be able to buy the training top, I bought this one off eBay. But there'll be plenty of places you can find it. I would stand up and show you the shirt, but I'm on a diet for a reason at the moment. As they go through on goal and score straight away, and it's Raul de Thomas who slips it into the bottom corner. But I will post a photo of the shirt if you guys, when the save goes live, if you guys want to buy it. I can't lie, the players aren't really. You can tell that the confidence in the squad is low, I think, is the best way to put it as I go through and go really good save again. You can tell that the confidence is low. You can tell the creativity isn't quite there in terms of how I want them to play. The players seem very chaotic. The midfield doesn't seem, but I mean, look at that back line there. It is all over the place. As we go 2-0 down, and it's a disaster debut. Thank God that the title is announced in a new club, and I don't have to put in the fact we're losing 2-0 to a team considerably lower than us in the league in the title of the video. Bearing in mind all these players right now, this is their opportunity between now and the January transfer window. This is their opportunity to impress. This is their opportunity to suggest that they might be able to cement certain roles in the squad, and if they can't do it, then they will be replaced. Alvaro picks it up on the edge of the box, all deflected across. Pau Torres can clear, and it's hit into the target, and it's 3-0. Oh my God! Our life in Spain starts out tragically as we go 3-0 down to 15th place in the league. It's not a good start at all. It's not a good start. I understand that I've come in and I understand I've caused a bit of unrest in the squad, but ultimately I know what I want, and I know that there are players part of this squad that fit what I want, and there are players that don't. This is a bit more like my style. This is a bit more like my style. Mandy taking his time out wide to Calvin Stengs. I think a large problem with this squad as well is there's a lot of players. They've sold a lot of players, but the replacements they've brought in are nowhere near good enough. What a good ball. Gerard Moreno's in. First chance. Do you know what? That's not a good sign. When your most experienced player, when with one of your leaders in your squad is doing that, it's not good at all. And Gerard Moreno has had a disaster class in this first half, so I'm going to take him off for Fofana, and I'm going to give him a run out in the second half of the season. Because chances are I won't be able to buy a striker, so I want to wait and see what options become available. But in the meantime, we're going to have to use someone we've already got. So one of those guys, possession's good, pass accuracy's good. There's just not enough quality in this squad, in this first 11, to create the kind of chances that we need. Alex Benega, unlucky. Could have pinged it over the top, but don't mind me. I'm just the manager, you know. Alvaro on the left-hand side. See, look at this. He's bursting past Darmian and left through on goal. Pau Torres is clear off the line. You know what? Pau Torres and Mandy, for me, are the only two players in this starting 11 in this game who I feel can justify their performances. And I know we've conceded 3, but you look at where the chances have come from. You look at where the movement has come from on and off the ball. And, you know, I feel like they're doing what they can. There it is, full time in our Spanish managerial debut, and we lose 3-0 away from home to 15th place in the league. It's not the start I envisioned, if I'm honest. It shows that there's work to do. But it shows there's work to do. But we're going to crack on. We're going to make some signings. And then hopefully, just hopefully, I want an option. Yeah, hopefully then, as you've seen, the Danny Carvajal bids in. Let's get some players in. There's not another game between now and January. 21 days we play Atletico Madrid on the schedule. We play Atletico Madrid on the 5th of January. So if we do have new signings, they'll be in by then. Let's start getting this squad playing our way. A long way to go to become Spanish champions, but I believe we can do it. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. See you later.